Why is John wearing his motorcycle jacket today? Well, it's because it's the closest thing that I have to what a rock star would wear, and Beverly Sills was the closest thing to a rock star that the opera world ever had. To give you an idea of why I could say that, I can't think of anybody today in the opera world who could be on these TV shows that she was on. Carol Burnett and Beverly Sills at the Met, Anne Margaret and Beverly Sills at Radio City Music Hall, Beverly Sills with the Muppets, and The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson with guest host Beverly Sills on many occasions. This was the type of media barrage we got of Beverly Sills, and there was nobody else that you could see like that today. Why was this so? Well, of course, she had remarkable talent, one of the most beautiful soprano voices of all time. But more than that, she had this incredible charisma. People in the audience could say that Beverly Sills could actually just come across and speak to your heart, whereas other singers were just tickling your eardrums. On TV, Beverly Sills was one of these people that could come in to your home and sit down with you on your sofa. That's how she felt, very familiar. From the beginning, she was always just Bubbles Silverman from Brooklyn, New York. Bubbles Silverman. I saw her in the Mississippi Coliseum, which was a mic'd arena, back when I was 15 years old. And even there you could sense it, that I met her up close. And photographs, do you see the photographs there? The photographs of her, she's a lovely lady, but she's so much prettier in real life. The coloring, her skin, her hair, this charisma that comes to her. She started out as a child star singing opera all the way from age 3. And she was very lucky from the early age. She had one of the best voice teachers in the country who had trained 3 Metropolitan Opera singers. So she had a wonderful cachet behind that. She worked tirelessly for years with this hunger to be loved, to be a superstar. That was her total focus. But that big break kept evading her. And it's interesting, at age in her early 30s, she ended up meeting and marrying a fabulously wealthy man that she really loved. So no longer did she have to sing for money. She could sing for other reasons. And then she had these wham, bam, 2 really big tragedies in her life. Her daughter was born deaf. Can you imagine being an opera singer and having a daughter who could not hear you sing? And then she had a retarded child. So this completely shifted her focus. And she took some time off from her singing. And it was only after she came back that she started this big role. And in this role, somebody came up and said, "Where did you learn to sing like that?" And she said, "Well, I've been singing like this all her life." But a shift had happened. She no longer was singing for the love of the audience, for this goal of being the superstar. She was singing because this became an outlet for her to express this bottled up joy that she couldn't express otherwise because she had so much sadness in her life. And this feeling of joy just came across TV, to the media, to people in the audience. This made the big difference. She had amazing charisma. She was also an opera star unlike any other opera star in American history. Before, all of the opera stars had gone to Europe to make their big breaks. They had cultivated the airs of a European opera star. But Beverly Sills always was Bubbles Silverman from Brooklyn. She never lost the Brooklyn accent. You know about that, don't you, John?
It's funny.
And she was a person who people could relate to. One of the interesting things about her was that she made her one of her few forays into the European scene when she sang at La Scala in Milan, which is the leading Italian opera center in the world. And the Italians went berserk for her. And what she said was, oh, they only liked me because I'm a big redhead with large bosom and wide behind. That's the type of off-the-cuff humor she always had about herself. She sang some roles that other singers would not have taken on because they were damaging to her voice, but she did them because she really wanted to act. And these were the three queens of Henry VIII, the Donizettis, and you can see the picture of her as one of the queens. And she got on the cover of Time magazine, which is a really big thing. I can't imagine an opera singer today doing that. And her acting was just incredible in this. It sort of ruined the voice, but what the hell, she had a great career. And she retired at 50, only to go to other heights. Most opera singers, when they retire, they either live on their money or they teach. What did she do? She went on to become head of New York City Opera, one of the leading opera companies in the country. After that, she went on to become chairman of the board of Lincoln Center, which is the leading cultural arts center in the world. Not a shabby job. And after that, she went on to become chairman of the board of the Metropolitan Opera. So she, the rest of her life, was a force in the world of opera, more so than just about anybody I can think of. One of the large tragedies of her life was that she had used her lungs all her life to sing with. Never smoked. She died of lung cancer. She had a lot of bad luck in her life, but a lot of great luck, so it sort of balanced out. She died just a few years ago, and we lost an incredible person who spoke for the whole artistic community. The thing that was great about Beverly Sills is she took opera and she brought it down and put it on the same level as pop music, movies, TV. It was entertainment. And nobody else had ever actually been able to do that. Now today I'm going to play you a couple of excerpts to explain to you why her singing is so extraordinary. And the first one is from an American opera from the mid-50s. It was based on tunes that mimicked American folk melodies, so it sounds very American. She had a really big hit with this, and this aria she is singing to a willow tree. And she will be talking to the willow tree and saying, help me, let's remember the first time I met this man and fell in love. Now what I want you to listen for, most really great opera singers have a distinctive sound, but she has one of the most distinctive I've heard. You can listen to one note of Beverly Sills anywhere in her range after hearing her and always say, this is Beverly Sills. That's a unique ability. She also is able in this song, which you will hear, to communicate this pure joy of singing. The other thing that I want you to listen to is she's going to go up and hit an extraordinarily high note, a high D. Not very loudly, but the only way I can describe this would be, how many of you have ever driven across the 520 floating bridge on a really windy day, and you've seen a seagull that was right by the bridge, hovering in the air, not moving? That's the feeling you get when you hear her sing this high note. So let me play you this short little ditty. Now while I do this, Cynthia is going to be my Vanna White, and she's going to hold a top one on there. And these are the little things to remind you what to listen for. The next one, and you can sit down for a minute if you like. The next one is a totally different bit. It is a song that could be the theme song of the me generation today. The lyrics are, "Myself I shall adore." These are both in English. This is by George Frederick Handel, who wrote the Messiah. You're familiar with the Messiah. What you're going to hear in this is something I've spoken about before, which is coloratura singing, which is singing this very gymnastic with lots of jumps and runs and trills. It's not just that. You're going to be hearing artistry on the level of, let's say, Greg Louganis, the Olympic diver making a champion dive, or Johnny Weir skating, that sort of artistry. The thing that's so unbelievable about this, I watched a video of her singing this type of coloratura singing, and she would just walk around like this, as if she was, you know, telling a little story. It was so easy, so effortless, and yet it's horribly difficult. She's going to be doing several runs up to high C, and then she's going to do one of her signature things. She and Joan Sutherland, who I spoke before, are the two queens of the trill. Very few people can trill, which is taking one note and coupling it with the note next to it and doing it very, very fast. You will hear the trills. And when she holds this up, I will go over there and point on the trills when she's doing it so you know what a trill is. This is really pretty spectacular. With the ease of somebody jumping a rope, and that was just horribly difficult singing, and just kept on going and kept on going. I was very excited today to share with you one of my favorite opera singers. Certainly somebody that all of us from the older generation heard it when we were watching TV when we were younger, but I think is worth the mentioning to the younger generation because she could transcend genres and speak to the heart of people who don't even like opera. Beverly Sills is my friend. Thank you very much.